Goes a little something like this.
We gonna die.
What?
Let me see now.
Yo. What up? It's lit. We live. It's Sunday. NCAA tournament lit. You know the vibes. You see me if you want to live. You know what I'm saying? You see me if you want to live, which you need to be checking on the YouTube every Sunday afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification so you know when to vibe in and check in with us. You know what I'm saying? To the right of me, the one and only producer, editor, you already know. And Acid in the motherfucking building. You know what that is like.
What it do, Scooby? What it do?
What's good, baby?
And to the left of me is the one and only Jonesy
Two
two
times.
times, bitches.
Dos veces.
One more time.
Dog. 3 times today. 3 times. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I only heard it once, so I want to hear it again.
It's all right. Maybe it's the beginning. Shout out my man Stapleton, man, from the job. You already know. Yellow tops. You know what I mean? These are the extra stout.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. If you don't, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, this is the Jones Hour, man. We talk all that, you know, hip hop, sports, live shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's tournament time, man. So we're gonna get right into the college shit. You know what I'm saying? If you seen the video, you seen the post, you already know. $1-800 Jones, hit me up. I got all your bracketology or whatever you want to call it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I got the vibes. I did a couple of brackets, you know, couple on the ESPN tournament challenge, couple on the Yahoo Fantasy. My best bracket though, as you can see right here, I'm not bullshitting. You know, ranked 16,000, 99.9 percentile. There's one that you see the St. John's fucked it up, man. Sad for that one, man. Sad for that one because it's big Queens vibes. You know what I'm saying? St. John's is repping Queens. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I do these bracket shit, man. I've done these brackets before, man. If you've been fucking with the show, I have called the whole entire chip before it even happened. There's video on that is proven. I just picked the wrong one. Yo. Yo, what's up, bro?
It's the Jones Hour.
What's good, baby? What's good, baby? Johnny down Florida checking on the Jones Hour.
You already know I had to use another phone so I can see you still on video and shit for my phone, brother.
Word, fire. You might have to lower that volume on the background.
How that sound?
Sound good. What's good, baby? Appreciate you checking in, man. How Florida living?
Florida's good, man. Florida good. You know what I'm saying? I love it down here. It's nice and warm and shit like that. You know. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday again, my brother.
Facts. You know what? I didn't even say that. It was a kid's birthday yesterday.
You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the Jones.
Facts. To me, I'm 42. I just came up as my reverse Kobe year. I'm coming back.
There you go, man. But blessings to you, brother.
Facts,
I told
good
you I'm gonna
looks.
reach out, man. Yeah, I see you over there in the corner, my boy. What's going on?
And what's good, baby?
How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling, man, with the goddamn state trooper mustache, buddy.
Hell yeah, bro. I pride myself on this shit.
Super trooper.
Hell yeah. Low key, that's my
Word.
inspiration right there, bro.
Facts. He got the iron sheet going.
Yeah, definitely.
Word.
Hell yeah.
You fellas have a blessed day, man.
Word. Appreciate
You
you,
know what I'm
yo.
saying?
Appreciate you
Always.
hitting me up, bro.
Always, bro.
Blessings,
You be
bro.
good.
You already. Later.
All right,
Shout out to you, bro.
That's my man Johnny on the check-in from Florida. You already know what that's Bronx. Let's be real. He live in Florida, but that's Big BX. You go open this one? Big BX. You know what I'm saying? That let's not get that twisted because it's definitely not a Florida thing. That's just where you reside at. You know what I'm saying? He called in because he already know what the number is, but I'm gonna post it up right now. So you already know we already do the live shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is what we try to do with the Jones Hour, man, with the podcast, man. Just try to merge that, radio with the podcast wave. You know what I'm saying? You can't call into Drink Champ. Shout out to Nori. I fucks with that show. You can't call into $1 million worth of game. You know what I'm saying? But you could call into the Jones Hour. We're gonna talk that shit. We're gonna, get your opinion on however you might feel about a situation. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just, sports. You know what I'm saying? We do cover a lot of sports, especially New York sports, because that's the whole vibe that we on and shit like that.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's more than just sports that we talk about. And we're gonna get into that today, man. We're gonna show you the versatility of the show and shit like that, so that you can really see, that the Jones Hour is something you should be fucking with. You know what I'm saying? Every Sunday, tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. Shout out to them too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we into Duke. Duke playing right now. What's the score? Oh, they up 9, 33-24 in the first half. 4 minutes and 17, 16, 15 seconds left as it winds down. In this one bracket, I actually got Duke versus Florida, but actually Florida beating Duke. You know what I'm saying? In the chip in this particular bracket. That's my favorite. That's my best bracket. And out of the 7 possible 8 yesterday, 8 in the Sweet 16, I got 7 right. I got Tennessee, I got Houston and Purdue, I got BYU. I missed St. John's over Arkansas, but I got Texas Tech, I got Florida, and I got Michigan and Auburn. You know what I'm saying? So only St. John's, which again, man, shout out to them, man. Like they had a real good season. Rick Pitino, you got to really give that man his flowers as an NCAA coach. Like it's not, he's been doing this with multiple colleges. You know what I'm saying? That he's gone there from Texas Tech to Louisville to I can't remember who he was at first. Originally back in the day, might have been Kentucky, but he's even been in the NBA. He coached the Knicks back in the day as well. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't do bad as a Knicks coach. You know what I'm saying? Like he did put them in a winning direction. You know what I'm saying? I think that was along the lines of the rookie and young Mark Jackson and Patrick Ewing time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I might be wrong on that. But that was around that era when Rick Pitino was a coach of the Knicks. And again,
right before Pat Riley?
Definitely before Pat Riley. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to give him his flowers, man. You got to give St. John's their flowers. They was ranked. They finished the year number 6 in the country. You know what I'm saying? They was a 2 seed, but Arkansas just had a better game, and they matched up real well with them. You know what I'm saying, in terms of the height and where Syracuse took a lot of advantages, especially on the offensive rebounds and what they used to do and what we used to see throughout the season. You know what I'm saying? Arkansas was able to kind of like, stale that. You know what I'm saying? Like cancel that out on them where they needed to find ways for people to create to put the ball in the basket. You know what I'm saying? That you might it's easy to go and take it to the rack and miss the layup and somebody cleans it up for you. You know what I'm saying? that's a blessing to be able to have that. But when you start getting where you feel like you have that, that comfort blanket, and then you lose that, well, then you need to find other ways to actually score. And I think that's what happened with St. John's yesterday, where they were not able to bounce back as the clock started winding down, and Arkansas was, where it was a defensive battle in a game where you could see it would be possession or after possession on both sides not scoring, but then finally it would be an Arkansas basket that would be coming, and not a St. John's one. And when St. John's baskets did come, Arkansas had an answer for it. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't really able to, come back when they kind of like lost the lead, um, going into the second half, early in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it is what it is, man. That's the beauty of That's the beauty of college basketball, and it always, why it does do something for me, because it's always around my birthday every year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my mom's could attest, but she been getting me the newspaper brackets for years. You know what I'm saying? And I've kept some. I kept one where I had where it was Duke, and I only did that one bracket or two brackets. You know what I'm saying? I was literally doing the brackets on the paper. You know what I'm saying? Some of them was all blank, and I was writing everything in. Some of them at least had the first round after it was already established. And I'm filling out those brackets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's something I've always done. Shout out to my man Flawless in PA that used to live out here with me. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been big fans of college basketball for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And he is a big UConn fan, a big Syracuse fan, St. John's.
What
Back in
year?
those days.
What year was your first year? Like, can you remember what year was your first year?
Like loving college basketball.
Yeah, or just
Well,
doing your first bracket better.
Well, no, doing my first bracket.
Because me, it was probably middle school, probably like, what would that be? Probably like 7th grade.
Yeah, I could say I probably did it around, maybe 11. That'd be like 5th grade.
Yeah, 6th grade.
6th grade,
Yeah.
because that's 95, 94. Grant Hill is drafted in 95. That year probably when like Christian Laettner gets drafted in, but Grant Hill is still in Duke. You know what I'm saying? And Grant, they just come off of winning. You know what I'm saying? And they actually lose again to Arkansas. Actually, that was we saying Arkansas just beat that was fucking Corliss Williamson. You know what I'm saying? And if you know your college basketball, Corliss Williamson, Arkansas, back in the day, that's who beat Duke and Grant Hill. But back then, it was normal to stay 4 years. Like Grant Hill was there 4 years. Christian Laettner was there 4 years.
Yeah.
He probably was good enough to get drafted after his second year. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't they didn't do that. Like if you won and you stayed, you we kind of see that right now, like how you with we'll
talk about it later,
we'll talk
but
about
yeah.
that, but like that's what it was back in the day. That's what players did. Like some maybe only stayed 3. You know what I'm saying? But
one and dones weren't really.
Yeah, that wasn't really like that was thought about as like like if you would be like considered a cocky player if you thought all you needed was 1 year of college and you were ready for the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that coming out of high school wasn't even heard of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just yet. You know what I'm saying?
2 years, maybe 3 years. Maybe you're a 4-year, like you're like a season, draft pick, you know, but never a 1 year or straight from high school. You know what I mean?
Straight from high school. Like we started seeing it more when once Garnett and Sean Kemp and Kobe Bryant, Jermaine O'Neal, you started seeing it more with these players because look at who they were when they came out. You know what I'm saying? And it was there, LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like you started seeing they're ready enough to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now they forced the 1 year because I think it's giving kids, the ability to have something to fall back on.
Like just in general, like you're right. Like for the like straight from high schools, they needed to be like completely ready.
Yeah.
You know, and don't no one needs to be hating on Jermaine O'Neal, bro. Like I don't want to hear any fucking hate. That man is probably for his size and shape, bro, is probably the most low key fucking athletic dudes
No,
like
yeah, he
to
was a
ever
beast.
play in
No,
basketball.
he was a
bro.
beast, especially when he was on Indiana.
That dude looked chubby as fuck always, but at the same time, he was able to do a front flip, back flip, all that shit. He was
Yeah.
agile as fuck.
Yeah, now he was
You
drafted
know?
by Portland.
Yeah,
He was on Portland.
agile as
And then
fuck.
when he went to Indiana, he was a beast.
Beast of a fucking athlete,
Beast.
bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And in the melee, he dropped that little fat Mexican dude. Trucked him. Trucked his ass, bro. Sorry to bring that up. That's fucked
if the
up.
listener, no, I listen. I look at it as like NBA oddity. Like I look at not even an NBA oddity, a sports oddity.
Mhm.
Like if you haven't watched that, like
Yeah,
any of our
at the end
listeners
of the day,
haven't watched
at the
that
end of the
shit.
day, people say Artest was wrong. I don't think he was, bro.
Hell
I don't
no.
think he was. The only thing that was wrong about it is that he hit the wrong dude. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When he ran into the stands, that dude with the glasses, it wasn't him that
Yeah.
actually threw the drink. It was the dude next to him.
Yeah,
you know what
people
I'm
are,
saying?
like, pointing at the wrong.
You know what I'm
person
saying? And
and
he
shit.
tried to say it was like this when Artest went to him, but he just, But if Artest would actually hit the right dude that hit him with the drink, I think the whole situation would have been completely different.
Yeah, that
you know
dude,
what I'm saying?
That dude was like completely gone.
Yeah. Even though the dude started attacking Artest that threw the drink while he was
really?
going at the wrong dude. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if you see the video and you look back at it, you know what I'm saying? So whatever.
We need to do a rewatch of that.
Yeah, we need to fucking break that down one day. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Ron Artest, bro.
Yeah, word.
That's Queen's love right there.
Yeah, big Queens vibes. Big Queens vibes.
Oh yeah. Yo, I don't know if my brother told you. We worked on a beverage truck with his dad.
Oh, that's fire.
When we were younger.
Yeah.
It was like a Sobe. Remember Sobe?
Yeah.
The
still see
lizard,
it.
lizard and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was one of their trucks, and like they delivered it. Like they also delivered like fucking Red Bull and shit. Like this is like back in the day when that shit first started. He fucking like you would open up like the back of the truck and shit. And like in like the refrigerated like how you have like compartments and shit, we'd have fucking like posters of his kid in the back, and he straight up looked exactly like his son, bro.
Right.
It was actually kind of a trip, like talk like him and everything, and you're like, oh shit.
Well, I kind of like me and my dad have like I feel like the same voice and shit like that, because I remember when I used to like when I used to live with him back in the day, and I would pick up the house phone, like all the people would immediately say his name thinking it's him. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, oh no, wait, hold on. And they start telling me all types of shit. I'd be like, wait, I'm not my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, let me put him on the phone. And then when he talks, they'd be like, oh shit, I thought that was you. You know? So it'd be like that. I can definitely see that. But college, man.
Yeah, word.
Let's go. Let me go through some of these games. First of all, in this bracket, like I said, my best bracket, which is ranked 16,000, and 99.9 percentile with 440 total points so far. And I told you 7 out of the possible 8 yesterday, Sweet 16s. Out of the first round, I went 27 for 32. So I only got 5 wrong. And that Clemson loss was big for a lot of brackets as well. You know what I'm saying? That Clemson loss was big. The St. John's. And I think there was one more. Or maybe not. Oh, and Marquette losing. New Mexico winning that. I lost that one. You know what I'm saying? So that could have been one. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I also lost the Baylor, but that was an 8-9 matchup, against Mississippi State. So, and I lost against Oregon, which I can understand, but I was like every year when you do these brackets, you already know there's going to be like a 12-5 upset. There's going to be a 13-4 upset. You know what I'm saying? Like this 11-6, like how Drake won
Mid-range
11-6.
upsets.
You know what I'm saying? The 10-7 where we just talked about with um uh
You've had exceptions.
like the
though.
12-5. I picked the wrong one because the McNeese Clemson was the 12-5 that was eliminated. You know what I'm saying? You know, and let me go through some of these other games that like Arkansas beating Kansas. That's a 10-7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, uh, Colorado State, which I did pick over Memphis. You know what I'm saying? That's another 12-5 upset. You know what I'm saying? That Drake versus Missouri, I pick 11-6 upset. You know, so it's like this is what they like. These are guaranteed every single year. You know what I'm saying? These are guaranteed every single year, and you just got to really pick the right ones. I think so far there might be. I think the last one I saw update was like an only 8 or 12 total brackets remain perfect. You know
Wow.
what I'm saying? Out of all the thousands and whatever, maybe even million. I don't know if it's the exact numbers of the amount of brackets that was filled out, but whatever that number is, only 8. I think 8 remain that are perfect still. You know what I'm saying? And we can see what happened with those. You know, we never know what's gonna happen, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I love this time of the year. March Madness, man, it's lit. Big Duke vibes. You already know. That's how I feel. And what do you? How do you feel, man? How do you feel? Do you have any thoughts about who could possibly win?
College hoops aren't really my forte.
Yeah, right. I feel you.
That's more of your thing. So I'll let you speak about that, unless I'm like hype about something.
Well, you could be.
If I'm hype about
Well, you could be hype about Duke.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
Do you have a college team?
If I root for a team, it's gonna be Cuse. Yeah, it's gonna be Cuse.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't make it this year. They didn't make the cut this year. They didn't even make the tournament. Shout out to North Carolina losing in the first round too. Good shit, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's I know I'm supposed to be biased as a host, unbiased as a host to this show, but
No, that's the team that you hate,
North Carolina Duke.
and the rest of the NCAA
For
NCAA hates Duke.
You know what it is? Here's what it is. People have their rivalries,
Yeah.
right? Like as a Mets fan, one of the teams you hate the most is the Braves, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a Knicks fan, one of the teams you might hate the most is who? Maybe Boston, maybe Philly,
Yeah.
right? Philly,
Yeah, I would say like Boston probably.
Boston, right?
Yeah.
You know, for me as a
The
Yankee
Heat,
fan,
maybe.
the Heat, that's
Yeah.
another one. You know, the Pacers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? These are the teams that rivalry as Knicks fans you usually hate the most. Boston, Miami, you know,
So let's name
Philly and
name
Indiana.
college basketball teams.
No, for me, like I said, in college basketball, North Carolina and Duke is one of the biggest rivalries, if not the biggest rivalry in college basketball.
Yeah. So
Because college football is different. There are
Duke-
big rivalries.
Duke hates
Duke and North Carolina because they're
no,
in North
Duke
Carolina.
Duke hates.
They're in the whole state.
Yeah, hates the Tar Heels. From what I know, Tar Heels hate Duke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then Maryland hates Duke, and then Indiana hates Duke.
No,
and
everybody hates Duke.
Syracuse hates Duke.
Everybody hates Duke.
No,
No, there's a lot of teams that hate us. There's a lot of teams that hate us. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we welcome the haters. Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? We not even mad at you. We actually understand. As we see the cheerleaders end of the first half, Duke with a lead. We already know. You know, hopefully, it's not hopefully, nigga. We gonna smack Baylor right now. We're gonna go to the Sweet 16. And next week when we be doing the show, we'll be talking about possibly who's going to the Final Four, and Duke will be one of them. And And if my bracket is intact by then, I'll tell you right now, my final four is Florida, Michigan, Duke, and Houston.
Fire.
That's my final four. You feel me?
Mhm.
Florida, Michigan, Duke, and Houston. You know? Let me Houston is a number one. Duke is a number one. Florida is a number one. And Michigan is a number five. So three number ones and a number five seed. You feel me?
Mhm.
That's what I have as the final four. Maybe so, maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But in that best bracket that I have, that I said is ranked 16,000.
Fire. So now with them wrapping up the first half of the game,
Uh,
I think we should get into
what some of the other games that's going on?
no, not even what we wanted to talk about with Cooper Flag and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Cooper
go
Flag
ahead.
situation.
Uh
News has or rumors have come out, or it's been suggested that Cooper Flag is interested in running it back for another year.
huh.
With all these teams tanking, to try to get him. How do you feel about that?
I'm 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 understanding of the situation. All right, let's be
And by the
real.
way, Duke is leading 47-30.
47-30. Sounds like a scraping.
All right, but keep going.
I feel, as someone that went to college, a university, a private school that had dorm life, but could not really afford it, but actually tried to live it as much as possible. Shout out to all the people that ever let me crash in their dorm or the off-campus apartment. You know what I'm saying? For the night, for the get fucked up session. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All the homies that lend me a couch and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, and I appreciate everything you did for me. But college is mad fun, bro. College is mad fun. College is for, like, if you do go and get that college experience, college is your last, so to speak, hurrah before you are in now the real world. You know what I'm saying? Because after college, once you get your degree, you know what I'm saying, you are now trying to look for jobs. You're trying to fucking start your life. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get experience, or work in your where you get your where those places that you work for free and shit like that.
Internship.
Internship. Thank you, Anthony. I mean, and acid. Internship. You know what I'm saying? You try to do those things. Like his internship is every week when he fucking plays. His resume is we're seeing on the screen every day. You know what I'm saying? And speak for itself. And maybe the teams that's in last. Like I could I could see, like, who you said, Utah. Like if Utah get the first pick, I could see him staying. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't necessarily have to make his decision or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I could see him staying because Utah is the first pick. Now, if maybe Charlotte wins the first pick, another team at the bottom, you know, maybe he would change his mind. Maybe like playing with Lamelo and some of the younger other younger cats that are they do have game. I think they just lack coaching and structure. You know what I'm saying? Because they have some talent on Charlotte. I think maybe he would want to get drafted. You know.
Maybe MJ doesn't want it. Like,
I don't see him want to go into, like, because Charlotte is also in North Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean, like, if it's the Wizards or Utah, it's like,
we
who
just
want to
talked
go
about
there?
this.
Yeah, who want to go there?
Well,
That was
I could totally see him getting the first pick and not taking Cooper Flag.
who?
MJ.
No way. There's not one team out there that gets the first pick and Cooper Flag said that he's available and he's entered that they're not taking him. Who's the other player right now that's guaranteed what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Every other player drafted more or less. It's like I don't even want to say it like that. Like it's not every other player. There are talented, obvious players. I mean, do I know their name or are they shown as much as Flag is? No. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? But obviously there's going to be other players that are going to show out, you know what I'm saying, and be assets and value to their team, and now it becomes the team's job, you know what I'm saying? This is like how it is with the quarterbacks in the NFL this year, you know what I'm saying? Like
Better be
it's
doing
not
your
a good
fucking homework.
draft, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, like this is like there might be 3 that come out of the first round. Last year there was like the last couple of years there'd be like 6 or 7 that come out of like the first 15. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's what it be. So like 7 quarterbacks in the first round, gone. Now it's 3
Yeah.
possible. And that dart is not guaranteed to be a first rounder. But Shador and Cam look like locked, you know? So it's like this may not be the year in terms of draft. Like if you get the first pick, like it's only Cooper Flag. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like as we seen last year's draft with the Thompson twins, um, I can't think of the cat's name that went first.
Wemby.
Oh yeah, Wemby, obviously, but it was somebody else that was ahead, you know. But like they have at least 5 or top 5, 6, 7 picks that were allowed that are legit right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll get that this year also. You never know.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But those top 7 picks, if you got one of those, like you're not mad.
Yeah. Sorry, Wemby wasn't last year. It was the year before that. So
Okay.
I'm wrong.
Yeah. Nah, it's a cat from it's a cat from Charlotte, I think, actually. Or he might not be. I think Charlotte was I don't know who was the first pick last year. It doesn't even matter. I mean, it matters into the conversation, but it doesn't matter in terms of um it only matters for the comparison. You know what I'm saying? Because like those were more like you were sure when you picked them. You know what I'm saying? Now this one in this draft, if it's only Cooper Flag and maybe 1 or 2 other players, it's like everything else is a chance. You
Mhm.
know? Not saying that you can't cash in, but you like how you said you gotta do your homework.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta scout. You gotta, be at those games or
Got to be in the weeds.
yeah, be in those runs and ask for those when you are gonna fucking spend the money to fly a kid out there to have a private session to practice in front of you with his agent and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That you're doing it for the right players and not wasting your money or your time, right?
Mhm.
Like because that's reality. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen with this coming draft with that. But like I said, I understand it. I feel him. You know, It- where you're gonna go really matters. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Especially as a 19-year-old kid. What is he,
Yeah.
19?
I mean, you can't necessarily control that though. Some
Dog.
players are more lucky than others. You know,
Mhm.
obviously. You know, but like I don't think any, like name the last superstar player that got drafted by like an ill team.
Nah. Well, Tatum to Boston.
What they weren't ill at the time, obviously, but good organization.
Yeah. So I mean, Boston is an ill team. I
Yeah.
mean, we might hate them as Knicks fans and whatnot,
And he
but we
wasn't.
can't say he's not that Boston Celtics is not an ill team in the NBA. We can't say that.
Yeah,
Like
no,
they're not a
absolutely not.
nice. They're not a
Tatum though, not a number one pick though.
3.
Is it third? Okay, so number 3 pick. So I mean, I
Yeah, if you're the number 1 pick, you're usually going to a team that's trash. When he
that's
went to fucking Boston, they were not really that trash. You know what I'm saying? All they did was they flipped their players.
but that's what
They
I'm saying though.
they got rid of Pierce, Garnett, and Rondo, and all of these other
No,
players, and got everything out to get Jalen Brown and fucking Tatum. And
I understand that, but what I'm saying though is that like usually the number 1 pick, which he's projected to be, is drafted by a shitty team. It's
Right.
always they have to play out their shit and then move elsewhere if they're not going to be happy in that situation.
Right.
You know, it just is what it is. You can't. I'm saying that can't be a reason. He's given the reason, and I think that you are right on that. That is the reason for it. His reason is saying that the season is going by too quickly, and he wants to like actually live a college life. He feels
Yeah.
like since high school, like the season is just like everything is just going by like this.
Nah. I mean, look at what he is, man. Like, bro. When you
And
are,
you made the argument for it. It's fun.
Mhm. No, but when let's not let's. This might sound fucked up when it comes out, but very much of it is the truth when I say it. You know what I'm saying? When you are the man in some sport in college, you know what I'm saying? Like you you get love. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just the homies. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he already got the brand endorsement. He already got
Yeah,
the
I
New
mean he
Balance
got the
deal.
NIL, you know what I'm saying? He's making money off his name already.
Mhm.
Like why go there to get millions when he's already getting close to that 1 million as an 18, 19-year-old kid in college, not even doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get to chill. You the man on campus, bro. I've been to. I'm telling you, I was at a legit school, a campus, a quad, multiple school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, students from all over. I had friends from Florida, like Hawaii, Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People that lived in those places all their life, but went to my college.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Out of the country. You know what I'm saying? Africa, Europe, Asia. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're exchange students for whatever it is that they do, track and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like this I will say this as someone that graduated college. College for me, I could just say me was some of the most fun, best years of my life. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? As much as I had to grind, like I worked, I had jobs, I had no days off. Literally, when you say no days off, they had no days off. But I was young, I was determined. I knew what the goal was, and there was nothing that was gonna stop me. It even took me 5 years to get my 4-year degree, but even that didn't stop me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because of the commute. That's what I'm saying. And like I said, it was still some of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
If you're living on campus, you chilling, son.
Yeah.
Like you chilling, bro. Like there's a little bit of a struggle, and you can see some of those that did live on campus that probably didn't come from money, and those are the ones that probably got like little jobs on campus to try to get something. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Run the student store, work in the little kitchen shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like because you like it's like I don't my family don't have money to give me while I'm out here. So let me try to get a job on campus so I could try to get some money in my pocket so I could live while I'm in college.
Yeah, that shit was
You know what I'm
chill.
saying?
I didn't go like I went to fucking community college, but
Yeah.
Jocelyn went to Purchase, so I would
Oh, SUNY
go.
Purchase.
I would go and visit her all the goddamn time,
Uh-huh.
and that shit was fun as fuck.
Hell yeah, lit, man. I remember Thursdays. Like I remember I couldn't tell you exactly where it was at. Shout out to my man Betty. Shout out to my man Briz. Shout out to my man Strenko. Shout out to even though I guess he's not my homie anymore, but my man Jared. Shout out to uh just a lot of the homies that my man D Block. You know what I'm saying? Like this bunch of I can't even mention all the people's names. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my man Mike, fucking Fizz Ed, Joe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it, it's 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 just different. Like you get these type of relationships with people when you go to college and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like that's just what it was, man. Like I said, you have that dorm life, you live there. You know what I'm saying? Like you're chilling Thursdays, like I was saying, like you go, there would be this bar in Manhattan, probably Upper West Side, um, and like on a Thursday, it's 50-cent beers, bro. 50 cents for Miller Genuine Draft and on the fucking tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, like I was wasted with like 350. You know what I'm saying? I spent $3.50 and got wasted. You know what I'm saying? Like fucked up, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm skinny, nigga. Like 7 beers is gonna put a hurting on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. You know, like that's what it was. You know, you get these things, you play. That's just college was the first time I've ever seen beer pong. First time I've ever seen an actual bong. First time I ever seen like a hookah shit. First time I ever seen like a gravity bong. First time I ever seen I don't even know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But college has introduced me to way more shit. First time I've ever seen real facts in education other than the bullshit that they teach you in high school. You know what I'm saying? First time I ever, like, realized, like, Pilgrims was grimy and fucking Columbus was a piece of shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that shit that they was like, everything is good in regular school. It was like, what the fuck?
Started with the Pilgrims.
Yeah, started with the Pilgrims and little pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Bring the polio, did them niggas dirty.
American exploitation.
Word.
Started with the Pilgrims.
Yep, polios and gats, nigga. Polio and gats took out the whole Native Americans. That was it. These niggas had vegetables and bows and arrows, nigga, and it was over.
Vegetables.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? These white people came and said, "What, cilantro? What the fuck is that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, we need that. Here, wear this jacket. Nigga, fuck out of here. Done. Done, nigga. Fucked up.
Cilantro? We need that.
What?
Avocado?
I've never seen this. Nigga, we from Europe. We don't
This is the fucking future.
What? Guacamole, nigga. What?
We're gonna make this so expensive.
Word. We think of guac and shots of, you know what I'm saying, tacos and tequila. You know what I'm saying? They guac and shots was different. You know what I'm saying? That shots came from the heat and shit, son. It was different out here. Fucked up. Shit was grimy.
Hey, Braylon.
Young Breezy just woke up. Shout out to my son that just woke up from that. Shout out to my wife who's pretty mad at me, but it's all right.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get right into
Knicks.
Yeah, some
Knicks and dimes.
Knicks and dimes.
Knicks and dimes brought to you by the two and only
Us.
and Acid and Jonesy Dos Veces.
Yeah, us.
Us. Knicks, man, they're holding on. They're holding on. But there's a lot of question marks.
Mhm.
There's a lot of question marks. You know what I'm saying? Like 44 and 26. 44, that's 10. We had 70 games. 44 and 26 officially. So we got 12 games left. That means 12 games left in the NBA season. And we know what some of them is going to be like. Like Pacers is behind us 3 games, Bucks 4, Pistons 5.5. So I mean, like I said, we've already clinched a playoff spot. Like when you look at the standings, we are clinched into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But these next 12 games, I don't necessarily think it matters in terms of where we're gonna end up in the standings, but it does matter in terms of cohesiveness, um, um, the the amount of time that they have playing together. Um, I can't think of the word, but that is what they really need to be building on.
You said it. Cohesion.
Yeah,
Cohesion.
but like and Tibbs gets a lot of blame.
Or gelling.
Yes, Tibbs gets a lot of blame, and I want to hear what you have to feel about this. But I think it's like I get mad at him because it's like, why have you not tried Mitch and Cat already?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you waiting for, bro?
Language.
I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
Earmuffs. Really.
I'm sorry, my EO. But why do you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why have you not tried this lineup already?
Yeah.
You know, like that makes us a completely different team.
Yeah.
You know, Mitch coming in off the bench as kind of like a 6-man role lacks because there's no offense behind it.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hart coming in a 6-man role
That makes more sense.
brings, you know, energy, hustle, you know, that leadership. You know what I'm saying? That he's brung. This is what Josh Hart is. You know what I'm saying? He's like the only like he's had the most amount of triple doubles in the history of the Knicks
Yeah, but
this season, tied it.
but they
8.
can leave.
He's had 8 triple doubles this year. Tied with Walt Frazier.
It could totally be Mitch playing that part. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like
playing the part of getting those boards, being the full-time board getter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had a double double.
You know what I mean? Like all I want from Mitch is points and blocks.
What he does,
give me 2
rebounds.
alleys. Give me 2
rebounds,
alleys.
offensive rebounds.
Yeah, I don't care if you got 4 points. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you could give me 10 boards and you could give me 4 blocks, 5 blocks a game, I am the happiest goddamn man on like the planet.
That's the best game you could have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like, you know, like what it needs to be is like we need to get them both in tune.
Yeah.
Like prepared to be playing with each other, because that needs to be a lineup that has already been established or has some sort of like rhythm going, and not something that you're trying out in the playoffs now because you're down 3-1 against the Pistons in the first round and you have no choice because they are out hustling you and out rebounding you. And we know that, yeah, Karl Anthony Towns might have his best statistical defensive season right now, but it does not meet the standards of what New York Knicks defense is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What we had in comparison to last year. And I know everybody wants to compare what we had last year, but at this point, it's like it doesn't matter because they made the move already.
Mm-hmm.
They made the move.
Yeah, totally.
They got Karl Anthony Towns. They got rid of DiVincenzo and Julius. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is what it is. We knew we was going to have Mitchell Robinson. It's just that we thought he was going to come back in January and it wind up being March.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we've been the same team. But now that we have him, it's like, what the are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Why are you not putting him in to get run with Karl Anthony Towns? OG now at the 3. If we're supposed to beat Detroit, right? Let's say hypothetically we beat Detroit. You feel what I'm saying? And we're in a crash course against Boston. Wrong or right, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we play the Boston Celtics, I know we're supposed to lose. Do you agree with that? Supposed to.
Yes.
That's what the consensus is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Boston Celtics is a better team than the New York Knicks. That's what everybody says, right?
I mean, that's what it says on paper right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. The only way we have a chance to beat the Boston Celtics, OG Anunoby, the person that we've given the highest contract to in Knicks history, needs to guard Jason Tatum one-on-one through the entire series.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what Tatum does.
Yeah.
If he scores 30 on you, he scores 30 on you.
And they'll run small ball.
Mhm.
Like Celtics, they'll run small
Yeah.
ball. They do it a lot. So they'll play. They'll even if fucking like Tatum is playing like technically center spot.
Mhm.
Like even in that position, he should be still guarding. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
No.
no matter what.
Guaranteed. And with that being said, like when that does happen, that's when you need to have Mitch and Cat in.
Yeah.
So that when Chris Tops is at the perimeter, you don't have to have Mitchell Robinson standing at the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? No, when you rather have him on down low on the block. You know what I'm saying? You could have Karl Anthony Towns out there. He's a better perimeter defender than he is as a down low defender.
Yeah, they could.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the problem that I'm seeing with the Knicks. And like I give props to Bridges. Like he has stepped up in the absence of Jalen Brunson. He has become more involved offensively now than we've ever seen, throughout the season. But the problem is like how much of that is going to continue when Jalen Brunson comes back? You know what I'm saying? Is he still going to be that aggressive, or is knowing that he could do that, or is he going to be content knowing that he might need the third or fourth option at any time in the lineup when you have Brunson, Towns, and OG ahead of you? You know what I'm saying? Based on your play, can you be that fourth option and still be efficient? Because that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? When he doesn't get the ball, he's not efficient either. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got the ball and you only took fucking 9 shots in a game, but you hit 7, it's like okay. But if you get the ball and you only shoot 11 shots in a game, but you hit 3, it's like, bro, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we need for the Knicks, and what we need to see start happening in these last 12 games before we get into the playoffs. Because let's see who these last 12 games are. Let me see who they are. Okay, so our next game is on Tuesday against the Mavericks at home. Next game after that is the Clippers at home. Then we go to Milwaukee. Then we're home for Portland, home for Philadelphia, then away against Cleveland, away against Atlanta, home for the Suns, home for the Celtics, away for the Pistons, home for the Cavs, and away for the Nets. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games out of the 12 against teams that are still mathematically in it in terms of a playoff spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Portland is pretty much out of it. Philadelphia is pretty much out of it. And the Brooklyn Nets is pretty much out of it. Possibly. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else in that equation is still in it. You know what I'm saying? And when we go to the standings, we are 44 and 26. You know what I'm saying? If we go 500, 6 and 6 will at least be a 50-win team. So we're looking at a 50-win season out of the Knicks, which doesn't really come that often for us in the last 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? So we could hang our hat on that and probably reaching that mark. But at the same time,
Doesn't mean anything in the long run.
it doesn't. And I'm willing to take losses because it's not going to really make much in the standings. It's only going to make mean in terms of the possible matchups. You know what I'm saying? Maybe playing at this point it would be between, I would say,
but
Detroit, Milwaukee, or Indiana in terms of who we could play.
What's being shown at least is a product of a better organization.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because
Definitely.
I mean we've had our 50-win seasons, and the last one, I feel like that was kind of short lived because of at that time Dolan being the way that he was at that time. Where basically taking or like being in control of certain team operations, whereas now he's not really in the control of those team operations. Like he's more behind the scenes now. He's the owner, you know. Whereas back then it was like if Dolan didn't like something, it wasn't fucking popping, you know.
Mm-hmm. No. Right.
But anyway, it just shows progress and it shows that we're going in the right direction. I just, if that is going to be the case, if it's 50, if it's 51, whatever it is, I'm going to be very happy. You know, like no matter what, you're going to see a smile on my face. You know.
No. I'm not disappointed in the next season. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about what us as fans have an expectation of from them. You know what I'm saying? And what they've been able to accomplish with all the injuries. You know what I'm saying? Now you have the time to actually come back from the injuries with this extra man in the rotation that now should be, helping. You know what I'm saying? If you place them right, you know what I'm saying, and make the right moves and what I feel is the right moves. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, I'm not an NBA coach. You know what I'm saying? I get it. All right, whatever. I still feel like Mitchell Robinson should be at least given the opportunity to start with Towns and OG and Bridges and Brunson, especially when Brunson comes back. You know what I'm saying? I guess if maybe you're waiting for Brunson to come back, I maybe, but it's like you started McBride, and McBride has been pretty solid in his fill-in role, and definitely way more he's defensively better than Jalen Brunson.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We could say that as well. So it's not like filling him in is
he's not the down the line offensive dominator though.
Like, no, he's not. No, he's not. You know what I'm saying? And that's why Jalen is Jalen and McBride is McBride and where he's at. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, you're not gonna put that. Put a pause real quick.
He's all right. But McBride is who he is, you know what I'm saying? And he's been solid in the role, which we need Brunson back. And hopefully when Brunson comes back, maybe then he'll start it. But I just don't feel like even that's not a good enough excuse to not at least start the mesh that we need to see between Towns and Mitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you do, if you do start Towns and Mitch, when you do make your substitution, only one of them got to come out for a chew. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you could flip flop them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Switch them out. They're like them three could easily, occupy the 4 and 5 positions. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where you have Brunson and Bridges and maybe even a Shamit moving to the 3, and 2 role. Yeah. And then you just have I would really just keep
and you would do it accordingly.
McBride, Brunson at the 1, and then you also have Payne as well as the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
so you have these interchangeable.
So like obvious there's still gonna be minute restrictions going into the playoffs for him.
No, I mean that's why you need to test it out now,
but
bro.
You're right.
That's why you
right.
need to test it out
you're
now.
Absolutely
because
right.
if you go into the
ultimate game plan wise, it would look perfect if he literally would start out center and then you would swap him, sit him, put in like Chewy at power forward, and then you would basically put Towns as at center. He's gonna run Towns a fucking lot no matter what. But it would be really, really nice to see him getting that starting nod, getting that fucking, like, the actual down the line fucking minutes, where they're actually on the floor with each other for a large portion of time, you know? And it would be, that would be so sick, like, and you're right, it's needed. If it doesn't happen, then it's going to be we're going to be fucked during the playoffs, excuse my language. We're not going to be in a good situation during the playoffs. Like we're not going to be at least ready for the playoffs. Get it out of the way now, like that way they have time to gel and acquiesce, to each other's habits, that type of shit, and then like bro, like I could totally see them being a big man tandem, and on the floor. Based on what the fuck's going on, they can easily switch with each other. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a big deal, Like, we've already seen Cat play center this whole fucking season. Excuse my language. This whole season. and now we have like to, I would say, look, we have to like get over the fact that he's crushing it, and I think that's exactly the deal. Like, is that he's playing well. Like if he wasn't, like if there was struggles and all this other, there would be no problem putting Mitch in start like with him, like. And the fact that Mitch is only and limited to just that, I think that's the reason why we're having these problems. Hold on, weaknesses.
Yo. Yo, what up, yo? You calling in on the show?
Oh, no, what's it? Oh, go.
I was like, oh shit, Rob got a tune in right now.
Wisdom. Shout out to Wisdom.
So yeah, no, fucking. In general, we got to look at it like this. Like you're 100% right. He needs to realize right now, and this is make or break. Like I totally think this is make or break because with him being, or better yet, them two gelling and then actually be able to play as a tandem. Like I think that it's gonna make 100% of a difference, man.
Yeah. In terms of how teams match up against us, how they approach us,
exactly,
how their game plan is in going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A team like Detroit got big players. You know what I'm saying?
And then it gives
Indiana, Milwaukee, they got bigs. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee got bigs. You know what I'm saying? Like
it gives also Hart time to acquiesce as a six man. As being the leader of that bench unit.
How many times has Josh Hart played 48 minutes this year? That's the whole game.
Yeah. And as a six man, I can totally still see him getting 30-some minutes.
Yeah.
Like in a tip system. Like just being the way that, like, being the fact that Mitch can only play so much. But. Like we were saying, like it's completely rotatable. Like we have Chewy. This makes no sense for him not to be playing him right now.
That's a fact. That's how I feel. So we see what happens with that. But like I said, 12 games left. So maybe we'll see finally a Cat and Mitch lineup. With OG Bridges and possibly Brunson when he comes back. But even without it, at least McBride to see what that would look like, because I think we're going to need that lineup to succeed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
To carry us as far as we think we could go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because after last year, we have an expectation, right, of where we should be at. You know what I'm saying? And it's more than the first round, obviously, right? So we gotta do what we need to do with that. I think that's enough for the NBA and the Knicks and Dimes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Just want to give a quick shout out to the Mets and Yankees, man. 27th, 4 more days. It's an opening day. So next week when we do the show, we'll actually be talking about real Mets and Yankees games that count, that have happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be lit. So we see what happens. Shout out to both teams. Right now, it's a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens between the both of them. And that's it. I wanted to, before we get into the Viner of the Week, I wanted to, what was it, Conspiracy Jones? What was the show we used to do?
I guess Conspiracy Jones? I don't know what you wanted to call it. I forgot.
I remember because we was talking about the fucking
Conspiracy Jones. I don't. Yeah, something.
It was something.
Conspiracy Corner.
Conspiracy Corner. Yes, thank you, Anthony. This is another entry into the Conspiracy Corner. I didn't tell you this, but I wanted to do this. So some scientists have this like sound drone technology where they could get these kind of like 3D image type of things underneath the ground. You feel what I'm saying? And they were able to do this under the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
I think so. Did you see this? Did you hear about
Yeah.
this?
There is something like these big ass pillars and other types of things, like a whole like construction system, like like hundreds of meters underneath the pyramids, bro.
Mhm.
Like this is what they got. This is the imaging that they got of underneath the pyramids and
Yeah,
whatnot.
how they
You know
built
what
it,
I'm
right?
saying? It's more than just how they built it. I mean, this is like so far under. It's like, how can you compare it? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if they dug out the bottom,
All right, bro. Dug out the bottom, I got you. But like 600 meters digging out.
no, there's a bunch of shit going on. Yeah, it's probably how they they built it. They
Ah,
have a
man,
bunch
I'm
of
telling
questions on how they built it.
No, but I'm just
They
telling.
probably had pulley systems and giant
No way.
incredibly like
No.
long holes that went down. That way you could pull up and like incredibly heavy things.
Yeah, no.
That makes sense.
I don't know about no pulley system and whatnot. I think this is way more intricate than any type of common ass pulley system. You know what I'm saying?
Common ass pulley.
Yeah, the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? This is some other shit, bro. This is some other shit that is underneath the pyramids that they got 3D imaging of that is just changed the game of science and things and everything that we know. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And just further proves all the fucking
It doesn't prove anything yet, but keep going.
no, but it gives more validity to ancient civilizations. You know what I'm saying? Or some sort of out of this world beings or technology that
Yes.
was here.
It also proves that human beings are still dumbfounded on how human beings of the past actually were educated and did things and had great structures. And
No, because you want to know why?
cities.
I think we think we know it all, and it's like probably just some major like
Yeah.
obvious clue that everybody
know,
like it's
and
like
we-
something dumb. You
We
know what
put
I'm
our
saying?
current civilization so much higher than theirs, so like our current status, like we're way beyond them.
Yeah.
We're way beyond them. So
Yeah, because of all
we
the
look
shit that
at
we
them.
know.
We look
Yeah.
at them as
It's
tiny,
primitive. You know what
tiny
I'm
little
saying?
primitive cavemen.
Yeah, hell yeah,
like I don't know, like a lot of this stuff, like
stick figures and shit.
it's fun. I entertained it in the past. Like I just like the more and more I hear of it, and also the market for it. Like if it had a more esteemed market, like it just feels like tabloid, like television tabloid, like History Channel, like and not actually like answering questions, but asking lots and lots of questions. But what if?
Well, I mean, because if you just discovered it, like, how can you have the answers for it? You know what
No,
I'm saying?
I understand what you're talking about right now. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, I could totally see them like finding that. Like, we found giant mega structures in the sea recently, not that long ago. Like there's tons of things that we have found that we were like dumbfounded that we didn't know existed before. It's bound to freaking happen. Like
No, I know.
Our planet has completely changed.
No,
and the time that the pyramids were even built, like Egypt wasn't even like actually a goddamn desert. I mean, they're proving that it's a whole lot. I do believe that it's a whole lot older than they say it is. And
yeah, because that's what I was about to say. Because they have it as like it's only 3,000 years old. You know what I'm saying?
If that's the case, then that totally makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And there's tons of things that like line up at least with the stories, biblical stories and stuff like that of Egypt. You have like they just found out that there's African grasshopper, okay, that when it goes primitive, like it basically like a gene enacts in it. Okay, so literally the fucking grasshopper turns into a locust, and when one does, all of them turn into locusts.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes like a fight gene in the grasshopper, And this grasshopper is literally the same thing genetically as locusts. You know, it's just when the scarcity of food and when the grasslands become nothing, like start depleting, and they have less of a structure on like and food to like live on, and they have to fight with each other and shit, they become cannibalistic, and then it become mass like swarms of locusts and stuff like that. So like, and they just found this out. This is brand new freaking information. Like people didn't know this. You know, like
I know, but
like how biblical stories of mass locusts are, you know, like that's totally a thing, you know, and you're like, how the hell would that happen? Like, why would that? Now we're freaking finding out because it's happening now in certain parts of the world, and you're like, oh shit, like these grasshoppers totally turned into locusts in masses and just start swarming, like, and they attack people and crap, you know, like it's crazy.
You know, I know. I mean, I get that, and I do know about the locust shit and everything like that. But I just mean, like, all right, that's an answer for that situation and why there would be mass locusts all of a sudden in the Bible and where it comes from and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But this, like, as unexplained structure underneath the period, underground, with materials that look like just like how it is with the pyramid, that they have these blocks that are only found this other place. You know what I'm saying? Like nowhere near there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like what the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And what we think of is like almost the impossible, and like even the numbers of the fucking pyramids. I mean, the numbers of the pyramids is the numbers of the earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Talking about pi. Are you talking about the centimeter, like the actual
the circumference is like it's the circumference, the equator, and everything like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when you times it by like 4,300 or 43,000 or some shit, that's the exact number.
When you times it by pi.
No, I don't know if it's by pi.
I think it's by pi.
I think
it's by the golden ratio, and then you get that number.
Well, whatever it is, it's still different, nigga. Like how do you make something like that, bro? How? Nobody, none of these niggas could do that. None of the greatest engineers or builders of our times right now can do that. These people in New Mexico, they have these fucking pyramids out there that fucking form shadows on the fucking solstice.
We have them in America.
Where?
We have them in
Oh, the Washington shit is like a little fucking.
No, it's in St. Louis. There's big ones in St. Louis.
There's another one that like is like on like one day like it shows like a fucking. It's the sun shines perfectly through on an emblem. Or some shit.
There's like native ones in St. Louis that like were
but they're not pyramids, bro.
Technically, they are.
No, not the shit I seen. The shit was just like a fucking like a pillar.
I mean, there's a difference, absolutely. But if you're talking about like ancient mounds and that type of stuff, it's the same thing. Like you could look at like older pyramids in like Egypt. They're the same thing as like ancient mounds.
I don't know.
It's the same demonstration.
Maybe. Well, this is Conspiracy Corner, man. This is why we talk about it.
Yeah.
Because shit is different out here, man. This shit is going on right now in the world, man. You gotta be on it. And it's worth it to have the conversation about it.
Absolutely.
Facts. Now, for this week's Vinyl of the Week.
This week's Vinyl of the Week is Blank Face by Schoolboy Q. I love this album. Jones was telling me how much he loved the Oxymoron album before we started the show. I love that album too. I don't own that album though. Like I don't own the vinyl at least. But in general, this album is not a flop. This album is far from a flop. Incredibly good album. Has a little bit of everything. Schoolboy Q, usual rapid flow. Like he's gonna deliver that no matter what. Very similar to, I don't know, there's a couple of rappers out there, but like he has his own sound. Mm-hmm. And it generally works with most things. From really, really hard stuff to the likes of like Gorillas or even softer artists.
Like
He's
SZA.
like SZA, exactly. He's able to play many roles and have many sounds. And I think that's incredibly pivotal in hip hop to be able to
Be versatile.
be versatile with it. Also be able to make an album that has a little bit of everything, and not feel as if you are questioning your own standards. Schoolboy Q is a banger. He's a gangbanger dude. Like, he's a Crip. Everyone knows that. But he does not skip on like sound selection. This album has its actual hit song, which is that part with Kanye West. Has like literally one of the okay, 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 okay. I freaking love that hook. Like, beggars can't be choosers, bitches ain't Chipotle.
Mhm.
Uh,
Talk that shit in.
Anyway, in general, outside of that, you have your chick song with Miguel. There's harder songs like John Muir on here. Other tracks that are more, I would say, soulful, like No You're Wrong. An intro that I would say is more akin to kind of early 90s, and I'm pretty sure is a Dre beat called Torch, featuring Anderson .Paak. The song has, like I said, very much like late 90s Outkast vibes. The sound of this album there's no, even though there's a chick song at the end, even though you have right before it, you have like a hard ass like banger song before that, it doesn't mess up the flow. Everything kind of blends into each other. Going from
Yeah.
we literally start the album with the Dre beat, and then we go straight into a Swiss Beats beat. Great transition. Outside of that, you have Metro Boomin, a couple of other like at that time upcoming producers, because this is, I don't know, 2016, I believe, and 9 years ago. It's kind of crazy. But in general, this album is still one of my favorite Schoolboy Q albums. One of my favorite TDE albums in general. There's no real TDE featurette on here. Like, there's no, like, you would think there would be like support from Kendrick, support from Absol, support from somebody. There's none of that. And if anything, it's other people. Like E40 got a track that's hard as hell on this album.
Yeah.
You have a couple other featurettes. Like I said, you have
Jada Kiss, and Staples.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you literally have hard ass motherfuckers, like notable hard people. So shout outs to him. Shout outs to this album. I banged it, I don't know, for the last couple of weeks. I really wanted to do it last week, but I said no. I had an application, so we rock with it this week instead. Yeah, but yeah, that's album of the week, man.
Yeah.
Blank Face, baby, Blank Face.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Schoolboy, one of them ones, man. He's somebody that I am definitely a fan of. You know what I'm saying? I like his flow. I like the beats that he chooses. I like his rhyme schemes. He's just somebody that I'm, obviously he's a West Coast rapper, so you get some of his shit late on the East Coast, where obviously somebody on the West Coast would be like, man, what, you don't know about this or that or whatever it is. Like, yeah, I get that. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? But Man of the Year, when I first heard that song, I was instantly hooked to be like, he's one of them ones. He's somebody I want to fuck with. And I've been hooked on his music ever since. You know what I'm saying? And that Oxymoron did have bangers on it. But this one right here also has bangers. Even the Blue Lips, that's the new one that just came out, right? That one had bangers on it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you can't ignore this guy's talent. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, as someone in hip hop, someone from the West Coast, someone in the TDE family, someone that when we think of Kendrick, you know what I'm saying?
It's always been that way. Outside of Kendrick, it was always Schoolboy Q for me.
So that's it. Vinyl of the week.
Yes, sir.
Blank Face. Schoolboy Q. So all right, man. That's it.
They want to wrap it. That's it. All right.
So how else do you want to wrap it?
No. I think we covered everything.
I don't know how else.
All right.
Well, it's another one wrapped up in the books, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in. Wisdom, you already know.
Yeah, shout out to you,
Appreciate you, my brother, for hollering. Johnny on the call in, Florida BX vibes. You know how that is. Let me bring out the intro.
Joe, we wanna die.
Keep your hands up. You know what I mean? Yo, ain't ass with the deal. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you're here?
Have you seen who the fuck that people, man?